viewers, today happens to be the 10th of February and the year is 2025. In front of the lens is Orakubenson Pastore, and you are most welcome for today's edition of news. As usual, we commence with what is happening in the headlines before we bounce back to give you the news into details. Take a look at the headlines. Coming up in the news headlines tonight, dozens left homeless after stray fire in Zaipi sub-county. Moyo MPs reward pupils who excelled in PLE. And the Arua City Development Forum President calls for regional unity during lobbying of resources. Details about this in NILECAST News. Welcome back from the headlines. Now straight into the details of the news. We are commencing it from Adjumani District. Community members in Zaipi Sub-County, Adjumani East constituents are facing uncertainty and agony after stray fire breaks in houses, leaving them homeless. Take a look at the story.
Community members of Njaipi Sub-County, Adjumani East constituency are facing uncertainty and agony after stray fire breaks into people's houses, leaving dozens homeless. According to the sources, the stray fire came during daytime where most people were not home, thus destroying properties and crops. Speaking to journalists over the weekend at Oruwanyi Village, Adide Parish, Njaipi Sub-County, Adjumani East constituency, Tani Patrick Madara, LC1 chairman, Oruwanyi Village, confirmed the incident and urged the locals to desist from bush burning and unnecessary torching during this dry spell.
What happened right now, it's not good. And I'm trying to advise the community members, at least, bush burning, it's prohibited. It's not even allowed. Because we have been, every time we have given the information to the people, at least that bush burning must be stopped. But if you can see the burning of these two buildings, it's not good. Even the people, the home people, they were not around. They saw a lot of things or some luggages which got burned. So it cannot be recovered. But at least if the necessary people or necessary office could support this home, it will be better. Because as I talk right now, I'm not even talking, but it's like I'm just crying. But at least I'm also requesting the journalists who are around, at least to forward all these messages to the community members or to the Ugandans or to Adjumani district as well, all in West Nile region. Bush burning must stop at this time, because it's not only this home. I'm getting some areas from several areas that houses were got burned, but at least it's not advisable as being the leader of the community.
Residents of Oruwanyi Village and victims cried out for help from the government in terms of food relief and shelter, since they have nowhere to go with their children.
Or render lulu area aulia treseriga happy of yana guizore picky of yatina guizore in beati twikore of yana mpuzore in bebakare conisala house in Miami pe ati the happy railway village area and tito or any village on command the village say tasbati yangu asi lopenani suaba a irio ticket sokore batiri so goyotera ongo karele lesa de so do koko goto kaya ka nasi oriba kido abale ma tariati karitere ma yo masong bana simunga rango ma laike era sa be mana rama seme du boda man kama yare mesu klasira tiane ra tsape masame tsare yero do ni yo engo ne masame tsare masiombo pe dani mi dari ane kuma du tirura
Ra vuno wide manga soru pe. Ra yo kira tare tero ni rama la ini konya kono ma pe sa ra ra mengu muri ko ma tanyao. Ke ta chiri ko gwere ba chiri ma di alwa sene kan tu di sabar koro.
Masidraru Onjima Alan, West Nile TV, NILECAST.
In more of our stories, still keeping the pace within Greater Madi region, now in Moyo district, the public in Moyo district have been asked to consolidate their achievements in education. This urge was made by Julius Nyere Ambama, the Assistant Resident District Commissioner Moyo District, during the awarding ceremony for the best performed pupils in last year's primary living examination held at the People's Hall in Moyo, thus yesterday, 9th of Feb, and the year still remains 2025.
The awarding ceremony, organized by Honorable Leruto Maza, the Member of Parliament West Moyo County, saw 29 pupils who excelled in last year's primary living examination PLE walk away with mattresses, a pair of bed seats, and mathematical sets. Julius Nyerere Ambama, the Assistant Resident District Commissioner Moyo, who was the chief guest during the event, urged the public to consolidate their achievements in education so as to foster development, saying the developed nations achieved their targets by investing in education and technological advancements, and urge the public to emulate their examples if they want to develop.
The testimony to all of us as people who have come to witness this occasion is let us consolidate our achievement in education, because it is education that spurs our district and the region. The superpowers have excelled on 3 areas. One is education, second is research, third, science, technology, and innovation. My humble appeal to our learners is let them be disciplined, dedicated, let them be committed, and also they should be focused.
Honorable Leruto Maza, the Member of Parliament West Moyo County, said the event is aimed at mobilizing and sensitizing the public about the need to impress education and contributing to the education of the learners across the district so as to encourage them to focus on education.
Today is the climax of the Education Week, where mobilizing, sensitizing, and educating the masses about the importance of education. And the climax is with the distribution of scholastic materials, and especially for those who are going to boarding schools and those who have just completed their PLA examination and have got first grade. I'm trying to give mattresses for first graders. I'm giving them sets. I'm giving them bed sheets in order to encourage them, and in order to encourage those who are yet in P6 and P7 to also follow suit. This is the only way to motivate our children, and it's the only way I can be able to help them, because I cannot individually pay school fees for everybody. So the only thing I can afford is to give them the scholastic materials so that when they go to boarding schools, they can be able to settle down and continue on with their education.
Anyanzo Terry Silton, the Secretary for Education and Social Services, Moyo District Local Government, said there is little to celebrate in last year's primary living examination results and calls upon every stakeholder to unite and play their roles in the education sector if they want to see better performance in the district.
Majority do not perform as expected, so we cannot all suddenly celebrate the overall pass of the district. As Secretary for Education, my urge to the stakeholders, both internal and external actors in education, to team up together, running from Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education should do its part by providing all the necessary facilities, all the necessary resources
Now coming to the mother city, that's within Arua City, still in West Nile region, that's about Trinity Caesar, the President, Arua City Development Forum, an association bringing together a number of stakeholders, working in collaboration with the government to support the development of the city, has rallied the stakeholders on unity while lobbying resources at the national level. Faris Majid compiles the story.
Director of Trinity Caesar, the President of Arua City Development Forum, and also bring together a number of stakeholders working in collaboration with the government to support the development of the city, has rallied the stakeholders in the region on unity while lobbying for resources at the national level. Director made the call during a preparatory meeting ahead of the forum's annual general meeting, slated for 11th of February 2025.
As people who are the decision makers at both political spaces and technical and even civil society, we should be able to get closer in lobbying for resources as a region. We should stop the split of the small districts going to lobby alone. Teregu cannot lobby alone at national level. Neither can Yumbe, Maracha, Arua district. Then we must take regional character in our lobbying. We have the parliamentarians, we have the local government leaders. Then it's time for all of us to take the lobbying agenda as the people of West Nile and take a leave from the Acholi, the Lango, that move not only as politicians to lobby from the government, but the religious leaders, the cultural leaders, all these come together and make a demand.
According to Drechabo, the region has been lagging behind because of absence of cabinet positions, which now believes should be the focus to address the challenges of resource mobilization.
We do not have cabinet ministers. We have had the benefit of our senior General Moses Ali in the cabinet. But apart from General Moses Ali, who do we have in the cabinet? I think as the West Nile people, we must first unite at our local level. And one thing we need to ask the government to do is to give us a position on the cabinet. And that's where resources are decided upon. And if you don't have somebody in that kitchen, how do you expect to get an equal share like other regions?
During the preparatory meeting, Faida Gloria, the representative of the market vendors, acknowledged the forum's role towards the city's development.
The market vendors have achieved some goals from this SCDF. For one, we have had barazas with the people, with the community, like most especially the education and sensitization of during the time of construction of the roads and the street vending issues. People, at least most vendors, know that sitting on the roads is not really advisable. So that's why some of them have gone to the market. Those that are still on the streets are just there because they have low heads, but the law can always catch them.
Relatedly, Masimoni Kochotoko, a visually impaired person living with disability, says the forum has been inclusive of concerns of persons living with disability in the city.
Particularly on my constituency of persons with disabilities, a lot has happened. There has been amplification of the concerns of persons with disabilities in Arua City, both the indigenous or the refugees and the non-refugees. So concerning the refugees issues, the City Forum contributed a lot in ensuring that data about persons with disabilities, especially the refugees, is fully identified, because we are living in an era that says we should leave no one behind.
Meanwhile, Drate Judith, the Arua City Senior Community Development Officer, asked the new team that will be elected to identify new strategies and areas for resource mobilization.
As the new team comes in, the first issue that they should be dealing with is to focus on resource mobilization. There are many partners that are willing to support, but then the issue that they want to come out clearly are things that we need to address. We have also support from VNG, that is crucial in governance of the city. We'll also be relying heavily on their support and capacity building.
amidst other resources that will come as we move along.
The Arua City Development Forum members will gather for their annual general meeting starting at 11 a.m. at the Lands Office, embracing inclusivity for a better city for all. Farish Majid, West Nile TV, NILECAST.
Now moving to Greater Alu region, particularly in Zombo district. Zombo district has celebrated the National Resistance Movement Day belatedly. The event, which was initially scheduled for January 26, was postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. Alfred Jawo compiles about that.
Zombo District has celebrated the National Resistance Movement NRM Day belatedly. The event, which was initially scheduled for January 26, was postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. During the celebrations over the weekend at Wharton Council, Zombo District, the district leaders and NRM officials reiterated the party's achievements and commitments to the people of Zombo. Honorable Esther Foshan, Zombo District Woman Member of Parliament, was the guest of honor, highlighted various development projects, including infrastructure development, healthcare, and education initiatives under the NRM government.
We were celebrating the 39th anniversary, all years that NRM has been in power. And Zombo being a stronghold of the NRM party, we had to make sure that our people know what the government is doing. Many times as leaders, we do not have time to sensitize them or even make them aware of what government is doing.
In his speech, the Zombo District NRM Chairman Tom Joram emphasized the importance of unity, peace, and stability, which he attributed to the NRM's visionary leadership. Meanwhile, Honorable Christine Grace Freedom, Senior Presidential Advisor, urged NRM leaders in Zombo District to be united and focused on issues that can cause development in the district.
We have to thank the NRM office because they are doing a great work. They have made the NRM visible on the ground. And because of that work they do, it's not just visibility. We also have good results for voting for NRM party, for the president and all the members. And so what we need to do is to think deeper and see what are our achievements as NRM party, as the party in government. The roads, the schools, the water points, the health facilities, and all these things are being done by the NRM. And so we praise the president, we praise all of us leaders, because without the leaders, right from the grassroots, these things cannot be implemented. I want to encourage the people of Zombo to be proud of the party, to be proud of the achievements of the party, and to be proud because we have peace. And so we can do anything. And as you see, the policy of government is now to bring development, economic development, into households. These other infrastructure projects are there, and they'll be there. The government will always do it. But we should take advantage of it by empowering ourselves economically. And that is why I also praise the NRM party, the president, for coming up with CDM. CDM is giving funds, money to the household. If we use it well, we shall get out of poverty. Being in poverty is the most embarrassing thing we can have in this era. And so when we work hard with the help of the government, we shall do better.
Honorable Gabriel Ukumu, Member of Parliament of Koro County, lauded NRM government for peace and stability in the country and called upon other leaders to join hands in protecting the peace in Uganda.
Because we tasked him that along the border, because of the issues which is happening in Congo, we are at a very high risk. But what I would like to assure the people is that UPDF is standby. They are very alert, they know the risks which are along the border. But for our people, how are we going to help the security of Uganda? We are going to help them by being very alert. If there are issues of suspicion, please alert the security because in order for them to be able to help us timely.
The celebrations also featured cultural performances, speeches, and awards to recognize outstanding NRM supporters and community leaders. The belated celebrations were attended by district officials, NRM leaders, and community members who all came together to commemorate the NRM's contribution to Uganda's development. Alfred Jawok, Camilla Stansha, West Nile TV, NILECAST.